What up? What up? I'm Tom Smoke. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. It's the morning check in. We just passed the halfway point in the P90X 90 day challenge. Today's day 46. We're doing yoga tonight. It's going to be a 90-minute yoga exercise. We're going to be stretching our back out, stretching our hips and our thighs, doing a lot of lunges, a lot of balance moves, and working our legs and our shoulders and our back. So check me out tonight at midnight. We're going to be doing that. Hell yeah, it's going to be awesome. But we just got up about 11 days into the 21-day cut I'm doing right now, and it's going pretty good. Um, Typical diet stuff. Got hunger pains off and on throughout the day, but nothing totally unmanageable. Pretty much sticking to a 8-ounce pork tenderloin and 12 ounces or more of broccoli and carrot blend. I'm trying to avoid rice except for on carb load days, and in the morning having 3 eggs. And I was having a piece of cheese on the eggs last week, but decided to forego the cheese for the next 10 days to try to add a little more fat loss to the diet. But basically, it's a protein sparing, modified fast kind of diet where it's focused on protein and vegetables. So there's not really a lot of extra carbohydrates, there's not a lot of extra fats, and really not a lot of extra calories in the diet. So you want to make sure that you have a proper amount of electrolytes, proper amounts of sodium and stuff, salt your food, drink a Propel or something like that with electrolytes in it if you need to. Also, fatty acids. I cook with butter. I cook all my vegetables in butter. I cook all my meats and my eggs in butter. And that's my primary fat source. I usually drink 2% skim milk, and I won't drink a full cup of that. I would drink about a half a cup split between several cups of coffee and kind of go that way. And then have a scoop of protein, whey isolate in the morning with the coffee. And then also after my workout, have another scoop of whey protein isolate after the workout. Now, I don't recommend doing this for longer than, 21 days, 4 or 5 weeks max, but you may have to cycle between carb load days to where you have enough energy to do your lifting, and you need to reduce the cardio by a lot. So earlier in the year, I was doing the same kind of modified, protein diet, but I had too much protein and I wasn't doing it correctly. So my calories weren't low enough, and I did not make the dramatic impact on the fat that I had intended on earlier in the year. So this time around, I'm really focusing on the actual plan and being very careful about weighing things. And I've never weighed any food before. I've been doing portion control and basically just eyeballing the food and using the label. So if I buy a 1 pound, pack of meat, I split it in half, 8 ounce, 8 ounce, pretty easy math, in my opinion. Or like a chicken breast, I'll buy like a 4 pound, family pack of chicken breast or whatever. And then, each one of those, probably is a half pound or whatever it breaks down to. So I just, relatively compare the portion packaging to the portion size. And I would kind of break it down, with that kind of, mindset. But right now, I'm trying to use a more uh, technical and explicit method so that I know exactly what I'm doing, and that I can properly give the advice to other people if they ask me. Because I'm hoping that by the end of next week, this last little bit of fat on the front, the last little bit of love handles around the back, and then all this lower back area will tighten up, the middle back area will tighten up, and then this last bit of material on the chest. So I'm not really trying to get super, 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 super thin. But I really want to reset my fat, and I want to see how lean I can get. And if I am in the ballpark of around 12% right now, which honestly I don't know, I've been told less, I've been told more. But ultimately, until I get the fat to where I can't grab it, I think that's ultimately when I know I'm going to be there. I can see the lower part of my abs, um, you know, a lot of other parts um, and muscle features are there. Like, I'm pretty lean, but I still got a little bit more to go, and I'm not done yet. So, just wanted to give you guys an update on how this rapid fat loss diet is going, where I'm trying it again this year. And this time I'm going to be a lot more successful with it, and I'm dialed in, and we're going to get it done, baby. Hell yeah. So, again, with the 90-day challenge, we're halfway done. It's a really big thing. Halfway through week 7 right now. Next week's going to be a recovery week, and then we're going to be hitting phase 3, which is a 5-week cycle, and that's going to be the last part of the P90X program. So stick around until the end of October, or end of September, and then we're going to be wrapping up the P90X 13 weeks, and then we're going to be starting over again with week 1, day 1 in October. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm getting ripped, I'm getting shredded, and I'm getting a hell of a lot stronger than I was last year. I only did a 30-minute workout last year, and I got some pretty good results. But this year, I wanted to take it to the next level and do the P90X and really focus my training on the muscle groups that I had a lot of weaknesses in: my shoulder, my back, my legs, a lot of problem areas that the 30-minute workout was good to get started, to get them, activated. But the time on the job, the 30 minutes just isn't enough. So once I develop a lot more muscular strength and definition, I'll probably go back to try the P90X3 to see the quality of the maintenance of the P90X3 formula, because that was also one of the recommended workout programs. If you've already got muscle and you've been to the gym for a while and you just want to maintain what you have, a 30-minute workout is just enough to get it done. And you can keep all the muscle that you've gained over the time, and you wouldn't lose it, and you just be able to have to do a 30-minute workout. And everybody's got 30 minutes. That's really where my last excuse ran out, was that I don't have time. And a 30-minute workout, I mean, if you're telling me you ain't got 30 minutes to change your health and to take care of yourself, then brother, you need to rethink your priorities, because I'm telling you, 30 minutes isn't very much time. I've taken a dump longer than 30 minutes. And if I'm sitting on my ass watching TV on the couch, or if I'm playing video games, or if I'm doing something else that's not really productive instead of taking care of myself, then I really must not like myself. Which obviously that's not the case, because I look in the mirror and I say, damn, that's a handsome man right there. And at one point I looked in the mirror and I really wasn't that happy. And I was looking at my kids, I was looking at my wife, and really looking at myself in the future, thinking, what am I doing with myself? What am I going to look like in 20 years? Am I going to be able to pick up my kids, when they're older? Am I going to be able to play with my grandkids? Am I going to be able to walk around the park? Am I going to need hip surgery? Am I going to need back surgery? Am I going to need a wheelchair? What's the quality of my life going to be like when I'm older? I was having trouble tying my shoes. It was hurting my back. My feet would hurt, my knees would hurt. I had general aches and pains, just life sucks, man. And I had to be there for my kids. And I really didn't want to be there hating being alive, because if you have body aches and they don't go away, then your whole life is just pain. Little aches, little pains, little things that, injuries from a long time ago. And we beat ourselves up for sure. I've done skilled trade, I've done labor jobs, I've done, crawling in basements, attics, crawl spaces, digging ditches, just whatever. And it's tough. You get hurt, you get banged up, you get, uh, twisted into positions trying to reach for stuff. Uh, there's all kinds of reasons why people get hurt working, but part of it is muscular imbalance. You've got your pulling muscles and you've got your pushing muscles. And when one set is stronger than the other set, you're going to have a muscular imbalance. So for me, I was using the drill. I was pushing, using a power tool, power drills, a lot. So my pushing muscles were very strong, very strong. So over the course of time, as I was pushing, my right shoulder basically shifted forward to accommodate all of the work that I was doing. And now I've been physically rehabilitating my own body for the last 3 years, trying to get my shoulder back in the right position. And I'm not there yet. I have to make a conscious effort to, engage my muscles in the right position. I have to do massage therapy. I have to do TENS, electrical stimulations and stuff, and physical therapy. I have to continue rehabilitating my muscles until they get better. And they may never get better, at least, to what I expect them to be capable of. But at least, I'm moving in the right direction, and I'm working in tandem with my doctors and other professionals in the healthcare industry to try to resolve the issues that I have. So if you've got pain, fellas, if you've got chronic back pain, knee pain, you might be able to go to the doctor. They might tell you that you got arthritis. That might be true, but you may have other things going on, myofascial, attachments, muscle insertions that are overlapped. Um, I'm dealing with stuff like that right now. You may have to go see a kinesiologist to work on your muscles and do muscle therapies. Um, but just get help if you need it, and don't stop. Even if it hurts, you got to push through it, because part of that pain is why you're there. And once you can get through the pain, you may find that on the other side is relief. And it's an amazing thing. And there's a lot of stuff in the medical field that they want to keep you sick. So they don't want you to get fit. They don't want you to get ripped. They don't want you to, fix your muscles. They want you to get that hip surgery. I don't know how much a hip surgery costs, but that shit ain't cheap. You got to go to the specialist. You got to go get rehab. You got to get all these special things on you. And it can all be avoided by doing a little bit of hip rotations, some hip mobility. Friday night, we're going to be doing kickboxing. We're going to be picking up our legs, kicking, punching, rotating, working our lower body. It's going to be awesome. So check me out Friday for that. And then tomorrow night, we're doing legs and back. So it's going to be awesome, and we're going to be crushing it. And we're going to be dominating every night of the week. Because guess what happens on Saturday? We're going to be stretching. Oh, yeah. That's the best night of the week. Easiest job I ever did. So check it out Sunday. We're going to be stretching our legs, hips, a little bit of everything. Wrist flexors, toe flexors, plantar fascia, the neck, the shoulders. We're going to stretch it all. So I'm showing you how to get ripped, how to get shredded from home with ease. You don't got to kill yourself at the gym. You don't got to pay rent at a warehouse. You don't got to take some kind of class and pay a monthly fee just to get a membership to the club. So you want to come to the Six Pack Club, you want to get in the Commander's crew, all you got to do is buy the DVD, do the dance, get your prize. Just like me. But millions of people, billions of people, they don't want to do the dance. They ain't trying to get ripped. They don't want to look like me. They don't want to look like Wraith Rasai. They don't want to look like Versulian. They don't want to look like Brandon Clark, Brandon Carter, Noto Content. They don't want to look like Brad Pitt. They just want to be normal guys. But what's normal these days? It ain't what it used to be. You know, a normal guy these days eats a pound cheeseburger and a quarter pound of French fries and a fucking half ounce, bottle of ranch with a tall boy Mountain Dew with no ice because that cuts the syrup down. And then afterwards, get you a cheesecake. And then go home and have dessert. That's average. That's average. Eating 3,500 calories every day. That's average. Not training your body. That's average. Degrading to the point where you need medical intervention for high cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes, bad hips, bad heart. You'd be surprised how much inactivity will weaken a heart. When you don't use it, they say you lose it. I'm sure that's fair to say in most places. But anyway, this was supposed to be a little morning check-in. I just got up. I'm looking real good. And I wanted to show you guys and ladies that it's possible that you can get a dad bod from home. You don't got to spend $10,000 for a gym equipment setup. You don't got to, do 10 hours in the gym, 20 hours in the gym every week. You can do 7 30-minute workouts, or you can do 7-hour workouts with one extra half hour for the ab workout. And that's all it takes. And you can have a strong core. You'll be able to do yard work, housework. You take your wife. You do whatever. You want to be the man. You got to act like it. You got to show the kids what a man looks like. You got to show your wife what a man looks like. Remind her why she married you. Remind her what a real man does. Handle that business, son. Get on Body Game. I'm in my 40s. There's other guys in their 20s and 30s. Hell, I just had a call with a fella day before yesterday, about work. The guy's in his 30s, went to school, spent all that time, all that money to get a skill. And then what do you know? That skill ain't so useful after you get that piece of paper. I fell into that trap. I try to tell everybody, if you can learn a skilled trade, if you can learn a vocation, if you can learn a trade or something from somebody instead of going to school, that's going to be the biggest bang for your buck. Unless you know for sure that piece of paper is going to come out on the other end and it's going to pay well. College debt ain't worth it. That college degree ain't worth what they charge for it these days. It's crazy. And then you got all that debt, and now you got to pivot into something else. And now you're 30, starting fresh. Starting fresh. That's a hell of a way to go into midlife with a brand new job and a brand new career field, holding on to the past, not being smart enough years ago to let that shit go and start now. Well, that was then and this is now. And now you got to make that choice. Now you got to pivot and figure out what to do with your life. Figure out what to do because you got a car payment, you got a house payment, you got bills, and the bills ain't getting paid. Same thing with the body game and your fitness and your health. Your health, you can only rebuild that so much. It's like a house and it falls apart. You rebuild pieces to it, you add on to it. You can build it bigger, stronger and whatever, but you have to build it. And if you're not building it, it's just going to keep falling apart. It's just going to keep degrading, dilapidating, turning into a piece of shit, a shithole. But with your own hands, You can rebuild your foundation. You can rebuild yourself into a stronger, more stable, more secure form. And you can get to the next step. You can get to the next level. You can be stronger, faster, have more endurance, have better coordination, more stamina, quicker, all that stuff. And then compared to everybody else that you know, you're the only one working out. So comparatively to anybody else that you know, you're the strongest person you know, you're the fastest person you know, you're the most athletic person you know. And if there was an emergency, you'd probably be the hero saving the day, or the first one to get the hell out and save your own ass. So do what you want to, but if you can't save your own ass, what's the point? So you got to invest now. So you got enough money in your investment account so you can cash that check later on when it's time to cover your ass at the doctor's office. So you got that insurance in your pocket ready to go. So you ain't the guy with the doctor coming down the hallway tapping his clipboard saying, well, got some bad news. See, these test results came back and you need to have some bypass surgery on your heart because it ain't pumping right. Got a little blip. Don't know what that is. We got to operate. You don't want to be that guy getting diabetes, getting high blood pressure, high cholesterol. Those are avoidable. Those are avoidable. Probably. I'm not a doctor. Do your own research. Let's get ripped, baby. Check me out. Every night at midnight, I'm showing you how to do the P90X. It don't take a lot of work. You show up every day and you do a little bit and you get out a lot. But if you don't show up, you can't get your stuff. You got to put in to get put out. And if you don't make no pudding, you ain't going to make no put out. And you're going to stay the same. You got the eye of the tiger, the heart of the lion, and the hunger of the wolf. Prove it. Do the 90-day challenge. We're halfway done, baby. What's stopping you? I'll see you next time. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. Follow me on TikTok, Tom Smoke Fitness. Later.